Okay, the next step is to build the bottom planking, and because it's a flat bottom board, we can add all the strips up together and glue them. And what we started here with is a straight piece of wood, and then I'll show you in a second how we add the pieces to it. Okay, I've matched up all the pieces, and then I'm going to run a bead of glue down the top side of it. Put a piece of wax paper here on the floor, and there's that backer board. Okay, so the panel's all glued up. This is half of a panel. I use 3-inch wide strips instead of 1.5 inch. Just takes less time, and I've got a table saw that can handle 3 1/8 inch. Got to use a lot of weight to hold it down. Lots of rocks, lead shot, tile, just about anything you can find so it doesn't buckle on you. Now I'll let it sit for about 3 hours, pull it off, and then let it air dry for about 5 or 6, and then we'll take it to a sander. Or no, we'll take it to a sander, and then join 2 panels together and make 25-inch wide panel. Okay, so now we're putting the frame on the workbench to get the bottom planking on, and here's the bottom planking over here. Okay, so after leveling it for rocker, which you can see this is just one piece here, so that the spar sits squarely on a reinforcing part, and then so you can get your clamps underneath everything. I've got a lot of weight. I've probably got about 300 pounds of weight on top of this, right on top of the spar, so the spar is getting pushed into these pieces. That supports the spar. And lots of clamps. You can never go wrong with clamps. You need a lot of clamps to do this. And then on the other side I've used PVC clamps. Very easy to make, work really well, and they're cheap. So now this is all glued up, waiting to dry. Give it about 4 hours. Okay, what I'm doing right now is just fine-tuning this one piece, this first deck piece, to the rail. So you can see I got a mark here, and that corresponds to that termination on that side. So, and I've also beveled the edges here so that they fit against the bevel on that. But what I'm trying to do is get the distance from this part to the spar is the same as from this rail to the spar. So it's 8 7/8 in this board. It varies between boards. And then just trying to get it to line up so I don't, so I can have nice straight pieces here. Using a block plane, and then just working the block plane back and forth, a little piece at a time. Makes lots of filings, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so the first rail, that's this one down here, is now on. That's not too hard to put that one on. It's the second one that you got to really bend the heck out of. Even though you're going to end up terminating it pretty early up in here, you still need to get a nice bend. This one's just been steamed and it's drying. And this side's all glued in. You can see how many clamps we use just to hold that piece into place. Most of it's going to be cut off on the nose and then at the tail, but you still need to get that curvature, and you need to get a real tight fitting right in between there. You can see that right there. You need to get a real tight fitting, and because you're going to plane all that down anyhow. This is a 1/4 inch thick. There's a 1/4 inch thick rail here, and the planking on the top is going to be 3/16, so it gives you a lot of meat to work with, but still you don't want to make a mistake. Okay, so now we got the 3 rails in. 1, 2, 3, and they're tapered down into the front to be flat, so you got a compound curve going from here to here, so it's coming over and then bending. So you got to wet it, and I use a steam iron to steam it so it bends easily. And now we're going to lay the first decking piece on, the first plank. That'll go in here. We have to scribe that to this line and then make it fit. Well, it's getting some shape to it. Okay, so now we've got a rail on the right hand side, and getting ready to put rails on the left hand side. And the fin box wood is set in place, and the leash plug wood is also set in place. So it's getting there.